Today we're going to be going over some fresh fragrances that I think every guy should have to have the perfect collection for summer. There's so many out there, and at one point in time, you know, the fresh fragrance was kind of the most common, most popular thing for men's cologne. We're to a point now where that's shifted and things are getting sweeter and sweeter, and that's kind of the new trend, but there's still a ton of pre-existing freshies out there that are amazing. There's a lot to choose from, and it can be overwhelming. We're to that time of year where you want that stuff that's cooling and refreshing and that just works well in the summertime. Here's some great options for you. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it affordable. It's not going to be too confusing here. This first one is cheap. It's 25 bucks, 30 bucks, if even that. Tommy Bahama Set Sail St. Barts. I absolutely love it. I think as far as affordable summer scents go, this is one of the most unique ones out there. And again, we're talking in that price range, 25 bucks, okay? Typically at that price point, not going to be super unique. A lot of the times they're going to be kind of cookie cutter, pre-made releases that a brand will just put out because it's easy and it works. Not always, a lot of the time. But that's not the case here. I mean, this one, it's got sea salt, it's got a bunch of lime. You do get somewhat of a sea note type of deal a little bit, but essentially it smells like a margarita. Salty, fresh, sour, refreshing, cooling, sitting by the beach. That's what this one's all about. And it's really weird because, I mean, over the years, this one has gotten compared to like Creed Virgin Island Water and a few others. They are vastly different. There is zero coconut, there's no sugar, there's nothing about this one that really ties back to the smell of Virgin Island water. Now, as far as the category, both being kind of a boozy summer tropical smell, yes, absolutely. But please do not buy this expecting it to be a more affordable smelling version of Virgin Island water. Not the case at all, but still a great scent on its own. And honestly, it doesn't really smell like anything else in general. Like, this really stands out and it's super unique. Love this stuff. It's an eau de cologne. That's the only downside, but again, it's cheap. You can bathe in this stuff, spray it on as heavy as you want. Man, you're gonna smell great this summer with this one. It's amazing. Next up, we have Michael Kors Extreme Sky. This is part of their Extreme line, obviously. It's got cypress, ozonic notes, vetiver, really nice, aromatic, cooling, refreshing scent with a little bit of a earthy undertone as well. Very fresh, obviously, that's why it's in this video, but it does have a little bit more substance to it. It's a little bit more unique. It's not just straight up citrus and freshness and that's it. This one has a lot of versatility to it, so obviously it's going to be great for this time of year when it's hot outside, but really you could work this one in even when it's colder out as well. I don't think there's really anything that you couldn't use this one for, and honestly, the quality is good as well. The performance is respectable. I don't really have anything bad to say about Extreme Sky. I think it's really nice, and it's one you don't hear about all that often. Typically, these Michael Kors fragrances, while they're few and far between compared to some of these other huge designer brands, you don't hear about them a ton. But this one's really good, and it's worth checking out. Okay, let's go back to something just more affordable again. I believe this one is 20 bucks, okay? So even cheaper than what we kicked the video off with. And just because it's that low of a price doesn't mean it's bad. But also, when you get into that price point, just because it's a low price doesn't automatically mean it's good either. A lot of the times that's not the case. A lot of things in this price range may not be all that good. So it's a really bizarre thing because you think, oh, it's cheap, you know? If I don't like it, that's okay. Well, when you buy $10, $20 cheap scents that suck, that adds up to quite a bit when you could have spent that money on one thing that was good. I digress. This one won't steer you wrong. It's Nautica Voyage Sport. You hear about Voyage all the time, you know, the original. I love it. I still feature it to this day. But every now and then you might want something a bit different. And there's a few others. There's N83, there's Heritage, right? I've got all of these. They're all great. I mean, really, nothing wrong with any of those. But I do like Sport. I would say this is probably my second favorite. You know, my first favorite's always going to be the original. This one's got sea notes, apple, palm leaf, musk, woody notes. It smells great. Another nice, bright, sharp, refreshing designer that's just sporty, summery, uplifting, invigorating, bright, perfect for summertime. And again, we're not breaking the bank here with this either, 20 bucks or so. It's an eau de toilette, not going to be a huge performer. You really wouldn't expect it to be, but just want to make sure expectations are managed there. But I mean, at this price point, grab it, spray it on heavily. If you like it, then that's great. And now you're set up for a great summer, something super versatile that you could wear for anything and that people are just going to like the smell of in general. I don't think you're going to run into anybody who doesn't like this. And that's kind of the case with most of these here, which is why fresh fragrances are so popular. Next up, we have Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. I've talked about this one a ton, and not just me either. It's been popular for years at this point. The main reason why it's so popular is because it smells a bit like Invictus Aqua 2016 first and most notably, and then the 2018 came out, and then now it smelled like the 2018 too. But you get what I'm saying. I mean, anyone who's been around for a while would know the whole Invictus Aqua debacle, essentially, where it came out and then next thing you know, as soon as it gets super popular, it goes away. I was upset. A lot of people are upset. I love that scent. This one has been out and has been, readily available, and it smells quite similar to that DNA, that sweet, aquatic freshness, essentially. A little bit of a bubblegummy sweetness. Now this one's got a bit more of an aromatic focus. The lavender and everything is pretty prominent in here, whereas Invictus Aqua itself, typically, and especially the 2016, it didn't have a ton of a soapy, clean freshness. It was mostly sweet, ambroxan, some citruses, and that's it. I love it. Great stuff. But again, at this point, it's expensive and hard to find, really. First and foremost, it's discontinued. But also, this one's going to be readily available anywhere. Because you can also get Rasasi House. That's $45 or so, maybe sometimes $50 during peak season. And that is kind of where it all started, right? And I still love that one too. This one typically in most places is still going to edge that one out a little bit in terms of price point. And again, availability. More discounters are going to have this, more in-store, like in-person stores are going to carry Legend Spirit. It's, a lot easier to pick up. You can't go wrong with any of them. Anything with that Invictus Aqua DNA is going to set you up for success, to just smell good and have something that you could wear all summer long, starting when it gets hot all the way into, end of September or whatever it is. I mean, you can really get a lot of use out of these. Next up, we have YSL Myslf. So, kind of a controversial one. Definitely ruffled some feathers when this came out because it's not unique and never expected it to be. And I'll also say this. I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to. It's better than I thought. And every time I wear it and every time I smell it, I realize that as well. So it's got orange blossom, bergamot, ambrofix, patchouli. But I mean, just kind of looking at the notes, it gives you a general idea of what they're doing. You get this one in and smell it, and that pretty much confirms it for you. But, I will say that opening, gosh, it's really nice, really vibrant, really bright and juicy and punchy. Big head turner. The orange blossom, the bergamot combination, it's impeccable. Like, it smells great. I can't really hate on this one. As much as you want to be mad at this scent because of its existence, right? Just another fresh, scent that just is going to appeal to many people. I do really like how it smells. And it doesn't smell like anything else. It doesn't smell like any of the YSL Ys. It doesn't smell like a Bleu de Chanel or a Sauvage or anything like that. It smells like YSL Myslf. I mean, it's kind of on its own here. And yes, there are many fragrances out there that use patchouli, use orange blossom, use ambroxan, use, I think I got all the notes there, use all of those notes a lot of times all together. A lot of scents out there that do it. This one still stands out, and I like it for that reason. I think if you want something fresh and super safe, great mass pleasing, and even decent performance, it's going to be great. It's an eau de parfum. It's going to set you up for a great summer. Pepe Jeans Cocktail comes in at around, I think it's maybe $35, $40, somewhere around in there. Ever since I got this one in, I've been hooked on it. I think it's another one of my favorite lower budget purchases. It's not as cheap as some of the others, but also isn't as expensive as some of the others too. So I think it's really, really reasonable, definitely. Now, this one's got yuzu, grapefruit, oak moss, another nice citrus, fresh, musky, woody scent. But that grapefruit off the top, mixing with the yuzu, is really nice, and that's what I love about it. It's punchy, it's bright, kind of the trend of this video here. Just another attention grabber. Another one that smells great when it's really, really warm outside, and it comes to life. It gets more vibrant when you get some heat on it and you get the sun on it. This is just a really good summer scent. I mean, it's made it really high in my past top 10 summer designer fragrances videos before. And keep in mind, this is going up against some much more expensive, much more premium designer scents. So I think that's saying something. It can really hold its own out there, and it's such a reasonably priced scent that I just recommend it to pretty much everybody. Kind of like Lacoste L'Homme. I mean, pretty similar price range here. $35, $40, somewhere around in there. It's got orange and rhubarb, essentially, is kind of what they're focusing on here. So it's kind of a creamy, orangey opening. And then you're getting kind of an aromatic, mid, dry down. And there's a ton of other notes as well. You're getting musk and even like further on, a little bit of a tonka bean, but not too strong. It's still primarily fresh, but it's kind of a creamy freshness, a smooth, creamy, orangey opening working into the mid. It smells really nice. It's not your everyday usual suspect when it comes to a summer scent or a fresh scent or anything like that. You know, it is something that is out of the ordinary, and that's what I like so much about it. You know, it's just gonna cleanse your palate is kind of how I like to call it. When you're used to wearing things that all smell similar, this is gonna break that up for you a bit. And you know, if it was going for double or triple the price of what it goes for, you might not be as enthusiastic about it, but at this price, hey, I think it's really good. You could also get Lacoste L'Homme Intense. It's great as well, and it's true to its name. It is a bit stronger, a bit heavier, more intense than this one. And it's a great option as well. And they're right about the same price too. What it comes down to for me is when we're talking about summer wear, you know, when it's really hot outside, I will take the original. It's just a little bit brighter, a little bit fresher, and this might be the better option just kind of for me. But again, you could go either way, and you could just get both. I mean, these are so reasonable that you could do that as well, but it's a great, unique DNA. And last up for this video, we have Acqua di Gio Parfum, and needs no introduction. I mean, this is the replacement to Acqua di Gio Profumo, which also needs no introduction at this point either. This DNA has been one of my favorites for years, and I still think to this day it is a must-own aquatic scent. It's aquatic, but with a nighttime appeal, with a little bit of a smokiness and a little bit of a patchouli undertone. It smells incredible. There's nothing that this can't do. I mean, yes, this is a kind of a fresher, summer-oriented video, but fall, wintertime, this could be an easy, everyday signature scent no matter what time of the year it is, no matter what temperature it is outside. But if I were to choose when I like to wear this the most, it's going to be when it's warm outside. I've been wearing Acqua di Gio Profumo in the summer for years, ever since I first got it, and I love wearing it then, especially summer evenings. So you can really use that one for that use case right there, along with many others as well. You know, so much you can do with it. And really, these aren't crazy expensive. Profumo itself will be a bit more pricey if it does pop up on discounters because that one's discontinued. But again, Parfum, Acqua di Gio Parfum is just the replacement of that. They're almost identical. And so if you can get this one on discounters for, you know, anywhere from 120 to 140 bucks, you're doing good. That's about right where it should be. It retails for like 200. So a lot of savings there. Something I recommend highly. You can't go wrong with it. And also, it's going to be one of the most expensive ones in this video, but also the best performing in this video too. It's a true parfum, great quality. Everything about this one is top notch and premium. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Some of the only fresh fragrances that I think you need to build up a great summer collection for this year. I will link all of these down below, and if you want to be notified when rare, discontinued, hard to find releases come into stock, or also when brand new releases hit discounters, which happens quickly these days, you can jump on my mailing list and texting list at the link and number down below. It's completely free to sign up, and I notify you anytime something worthwhile is happening. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.